Hello everyone! Welcome to the series. I'm just going to dub the name at this point since I do it every single day of that week. Theory Thursday, where the day before the actual episode comes out for the anime, I do a little theory, speculate, talk about what I think, what it could be, etc, etc, etc. So obviously for this video, we're going to be talking about the latest thing we could, which is Arthur in Beyblade Burst GT. So if you don't know who Arthur is, he is the owner of Prime Apocalypse. Now, there is a bio description of him, and it's really interesting. Now, I'm also going to talk about very briefly the anime versus the manga. I will be covering the manga chapter next week because I'm still waiting on that core just to come. But basically, with the description of Arthur for his bio, he's part of the organization called, and this is what it's saying, called Hell, and he dubs himself the name of King of Hell. And he believes, like, his ability, his power, makes him on top of everyone. Like, he is the king of the world of Beyblade Burst. So, what it basically is that he thinks also that his strongest Bey, the strongest Bey ever in existence, is Prime Apocalypse. That's what he thinks. That's what he believes, right? That's his idea. And basically, what he's trying to do right now, he's trying to end the existence... Oh no, excuse me. End the existing Beyblades. And anyone who does not want to join the organization of Hell, he will destroy and obliterate. So it's sort of like you're either with me or you're against me type of situation. And that's what makes Arthur really interesting, because we're gonna probably get the character bio tomorrow for Green? It's like, it's a really weird name. Like, I tried seeing his name on what it is. It's like GWYNN, or I don't know if it's one or two N's. This is the person who owns Regalia Genesis, so we can assume that what Arthur's goal is, and Arthur, I believe he works with Green. I'm just gonna say it like that. If I said it wrong, you can correct me. What their goal is basically this: the owner of Regalia Genesis wants to bring sort of like a new era to Beyblade. And what Arthur wants to do is sort of bring the ends to what exists already. So it's sort of like the death and birth, right? So that's also why in all the promotion material, especially for Imperial Dragon, you'll notice that it'll say it's the beginning of the new generation. The new generation does not mean, okay, it's the new series of Beyblade Burst. What it means is that these two characters are trying to bring sort of like the world into like their own era. Like, they basically just want to dominate the world. It's like, think of like Fi, except not doing it just for the fun. Because Fi in Beyblade Burst Cho-Z, he didn't really care too much. He just wanted to just prove he was strong. He didn't want to destroy. Actually, he did kind of want to destroy. So, I mean, Fi and Arthur, I guess, have a lot of similarities now that I think about it. But, back to the theory time, right? So, first of all, the first appearance we see of Arthur, I was about to say King Arthur because I was just remembering the name where it's based on. So he enters, in the anime, he just knocks back Delta and he breaks Aiga's champion belt. And he basically announces to everyone that he is on the top, he is number one, he's the strongest. So in the anime, it's just a regular introduction, nothing special. In the manga, which I'll briefly talk about, what happens is he enters in the same way, but I think it's Drum versus Delta, I'm pretty sure. And what happens is when he enters, those bays are destroyed. Now, I will give like a breakdown and all that stuff following, but in the manga, it's very different from the anime. So something you gotta understand is that, from what I'm able to interpret between the manga versus the anime, I guess the director or whoever handles the anime is given like very loose notes from Hiro Morita of his plans for these characters and these bays. So that's why in the manga, characters will be vastly different from what they are in the anime. And that also means that similar events, like of course in the manga, Arthur interrupts a battle and breaks two bays, versus Arthur interrupts a battle in the anime and just knocks out two bays. Now, my theory is because they're trying to bring a little bit more hype to Apocalypse, and because they made Drum lose, which is probably, I think Drum is, I have to check the chapter because I'm not too sure, but what I think they're trying to lead up to, and I'm gonna go back to this main point, is I think in the anime, Iga versus, or Iger, if you want me to say that, versus Arthur, Union Achilles is gonna break. Because think about it like this. Arthur is gonna destroy base. Right? Factually, he's gonna destroy base. It happened in the manga, it's definitely gonna happen in the anime. And because he interrupted the battle, and he broke base, in the anime, he interrupted the battle, and the next match is gonna be Arthur versus Iga. I'll just say Iger. So most likely, that means Achilles will break, and I'm hoping that it does, because that's going to set him up as a powerful foe. Because, well, even though it's kind of like, you could say kind of like a trope or whatever, new character takes on like the biggest person, that's the strongest, takes them down, proves they're the strongest, you know, a little bit cliche, whatever, but that's what it's going to assert Arthur's like sort of like dominance over the Beyblade world, because Iger is the champion, right? So if Arthur were to, let's say, Arthur's going to beat him, because in the description for the episodes coming up Friday, basically said Iger's going to battle against him, and Iger's going to be surprised that the Bey doesn't burst, which is the infinite lock system, or if you want me to say the Mugen lock system. So following that, here's what I think. Now, I think the manga and the anime are going to handle this a little bit differently, obviously. I think in the manga, since Dragon, the Bulls are IP, I also think in the manga that Volt will try to stop Arthur, or since Valkyrie is confirmed for 2020 due to the fact that fans are going to be designing the new Valkyrie, it could potentially mean that Volt will try to go up against the final boss and Valkyrie will get shattered. Now, of course, I think maybe in the anime, maybe those events will precede it instead of there being whatever the final boss may be. Maybe Valkyrie breaks a little bit earlier on. Now, what I think will happen in both is that I think Arthur will try to pull some sort of fight, and maybe Gwyn will also assist him, and the idea that he'll maybe go to all these bladers and ask, are you going to join us or not? And Arthur will probably break the base. Now, in a way, what they could do is this: they could easily do something where they make a cameo, or at least in the manga, of like characters like Free and Shu. Like Free would obviously still have his guys Fafnir, and Shu would not have Lord Spriggan because, as we know, Lord Spriggan does not have an owner. It is not owned by Shu Kurenai. It will probably never be owned by Shu Kurenai. I don't know why people argue that fact. It's literally on the box that Shu Kurenai was the owner. Okay, Shu Kurenai's in GT. He's the owner. It's not. She will probably just have Chozi Spriggan, and probably those two will break, and they'll probably do some cameos, or maybe something like, or a flashback where it's like, Arthur and Gwyn went to the powerful bladers in the world, and all of them declined. Arthur destroyed all those babes. And that's how they could easily set up all these characters from the past, and sort of bring the idea that it's the end of the era, because let's be honest now, how cool would it be to know that these characters are trying to bring the end to everything that we know by destroying all the characters that we actually like, and setting up probably the defeat of those bays with Drum. Now, Drum is most likely, actually, Drum 100% is going to defeat those two bays, because Imperial Dragon was basically, with the description of it, was said, hey, this bay, this is the bay that's going to counter these, the Apocalypse and the Regalia. So that's kind of where my theory is going to end. Now, I want you in the comment section to tell me your thoughts on this theory. How many bays do you think will get destroyed? Do you think the manga will show more destruction than the anime? Do you think Iger will survive his match in the anime? Let me know. I'm actually a little bit excited in the anime now, since things are kind of getting interesting and it's not too boring now. So hopefully it keeps that direction. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching and have an awesome and amazing day.